Peace and blessings. Welcome to Team Angie, private person consultant, also advocate for mental health awareness. Happy Wednesday. Working on this video. I'm gonna post this short really quick. Then we can get right into this topic. This topic. Happy Wednesday, Felice, Mercoles. How you all doing today? Peace and blessings. Welcome, team members. Welcome to Team Angie. I'm team member Aaron Glenn, a private personal consultant. I also advocate for mental health awareness as well. And by doing so, I put positive vibes out into the universe. I created a blog, Talks with Team Angie, Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can get a free copy by signing in to my email list. I send out newsletters once a week. Every Sunday they go out. Sometimes Saturday, sometimes twice a week. But nevertheless, depending on what we got going on, the month and the week. If you're looking for passive income, that's what this also is about. I have a live mentorship program, Legacy Builders. If you guys looking to launch your own online business with digital products, Master Resale Right, teach you all what Master Resale Rights is, what is passive income, what is digital marketing, how do you market digital, what are digital products, everything that you need to know step by step, business in the box from launch to profit in 7 days. Grab your free blueprint copy right here. Pardon me just one bit. And we about to get into it. The mini me's, what's the mini me's about, right? All power in his hands. Not talking about me, by the way. All right, cool. And put this down. Let's do that for a second. This year, coming into next year, I think I'm going vegan. I don't think so. I probably am. Well, no. I may still eat fish, may not. I don't know. I think fish is probably one of the safest meats to eat. I sent a video. I just put a video out too on my a reel, a short. Damn. I be getting these platforms mixed up. What I posted is on my YouTube. If you want to check out what I posted, it's a short, aka reel, whatever, right? A small video. And I heard something about Campbell's, the vice president of Campbell's Soup. He was talking about he had people eating 3D meat, 3D printed meat for I don't know how long. You guys may be having canned goods in your home for the winter time. This year around, a lot of people like to stay indoors, which is, I mean, the right thing to do if you don't have to be out in the cold. It makes sense, right? A lot of people don't last through the winters, meaning actually being alive, surviving to see the new year. A lot of people out here in the streets, homeless, nowhere to go. The shelters kick them out during most of the day, and people freeze to death. I mean, that's something that nobody may not know, may not be aware of, or the conversations maybe not be talked about enough. But I'm just spreading awareness that it's all right to get your mind right, to get your situation right, to focus on your journey and your path. A lot of mini me's, I see a lot of what I mean by that is like silent supporters. You know, I see a lot of people out here looking like me, acting like me, talking like me, but I never see them supporting me. Like, where the fuck y'all come from? I don't have people in my lives like that tuning in, tapping in. From time to time, yeah, they do, and I appreciate the ones that do. I'm not saying like, oh, when I go live, check out my videos. Everybody, drop what you're doing. No, not that at all. I have solid supporters and solid fan base. I appreciate my members, appreciate the team. I'm always showing love, always putting out motivation. I'm a motivational speaker, aka preacher. It's just something that I was blessed to do. You know, this is me, it's who I am, and I share a piece of me each time, but I don't drain myself overdoing it, you know. To each his own, you have to strive for what you want for, and I'll meet you where you are. The more authentic you are to yourself, the more you attract who you are to yourself, your tribe, your people. You don't have to go out here trying to be like anybody else. You don't have to go out here trying to fit in to any crowds. You don't have to be people pleasing because you're comfortable in your own skin. You're solid with who you are. You have a foundation. A lot of people so finicky. like New Face, right? I mean, Blue Face. Weird stuff going on like that. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not looking for no transformation like that. I'm looking for a transformation as far as my character, who I am, and who I am becoming. Each year, this year has been a transformative year for me. Just focusing on my journey, being different than who I was the previous day, the previous hour, constantly elevating, evolving, and analyzing who I am and what I'm into, the way that I spend my time and energy, what I pay attention to, the thoughts that I entertain, right? But back to the mini me's, I reach out to people, try to collaborate, put people in my mix. I don't like people in my business, especially if I ain't sent for you. I don't need you in my way. I don't need you in my mix. It's just what it is. It's how I protect my peace of mind. It's how I protect my mental health and my energy. Why I advocate for mental health? Because mental health is the big key to success. To me, success is 90% mindset. Mindset is what it takes to be successful. Whenever you fail trying to be successful in your journeys at your attempt, your first attempt, it's that mindset that keeps you going, to endure these situations, to learn how to pivot, to learn how to fail, to learn how to learn. Not everything that you get into is going to be learned the same way. Some things have to be hands on. Some things you have to pay attention. Some things you have to hear. Some things you have to write down. Whatever your ways of learning, you need to learn different ways to learn, right? Be open minded. For those of you who are closed minded, you have no room for growth. You have no room to evolve because you're already at your capacity mentally. And therefore, mentally, you miss out on ways to see the world, seeing it from a different point of view, a different perspective, a different angle, whatever that may be. But whatever those angles or perspectives may be, might be the view that changes your life, that leads you finally into the right direction. We all have a final destination, and that's death. Whether it comes quicker for some or later for others, we're all headed towards that final destination to meet our maker. I was thinking about this last night. Like, if the world was to end right now today, are you aware or are you sure where you're going to end up? Are you even thinking about, the interactions that you have with the people around you, the people that you meet along your path, along your journey in life? These strangers that you entertain, or those angels go back and give a good report, or will those demons go back and be like, yeah, we got one to use. Let's go ahead and get in his mix. These are things that I think about. This is my point of view. This is my mindset. I spend time pursuing happiness. I know happiness isn't something that you can buy from the store, purchase from a friend, or steal from someone else. It's something that you pursue, something that you can attain, but something that you don't keep. It's something that you maintain. It takes practice. It takes energy. It takes focus. Focusing on the things that keeps you happy, right? And this is what mental health awareness is about. Guarding your mind from the thoughts and the things that don't align with who you are and who you desire to be. It's hard to be alone in this journey, becoming who you are to become, being grounded, having a solid foundation. A lot of people are so finicky because they're looking at the limelight. This person life looks like it might be enticing for me to go copy them and do what they're doing. They seem happy. Or they're making money as quick as this way. Let me hop in and do this. Or whatever the case may be, right? I like how this person dressed. Let me take a little piece of their style or whatever, whatnot. People just funny to me though, but it is what it is, right? If I was to leave this earth today, all my mini needs, the silent supporters, would be lost because they have no self worth, no identity. That's why they always be out there peeping the scene. I see what's going on. I know what's going on. It's just funny to me though. Fuck with me, fuck with me. If not, then it's gonna take a long time to try to replace me and be me because I'm one on one. I'm happy that I inspire people, but at the same time, I mean, you're doing yourself a disservice. You want to learn how to be me, to become the best version of yourself. Fuck with me. I'll teach you how I find myself, how I found myself, and how I maintain myself. It is what it is. We could work together. A lot of people that's in a higher platform than me, they fuck with me. I'm not trying to compete with them, and now we show each other love and we learn from each other. We basically sharpen each other up. A sword sharpens a sword. But for those of you who are not in that in that situation where you support people and they support you back, sword sharpening swords. We be equipping each other with tips, tools, insights, or whatever, right? We're bettering each other. We're lifting each other up. We're elevating and evolving together. It's not me taking off your creativity, energy, vamping you, you know what I'm saying? Becoming a parasite, trying to basically get in your mix to get everything that you got in Destiny Swap. A lot of energy vampires in the world. People out here can't maintain their energy. They can't maintain their mindset. They run around here focused on so much stuff that keeps them drained. And now to refill themselves, they need to go to somebody with good energy so they can get a little bit of that. I'm gonna show y'all exactly what be going on. It's not a person to person thing. It's the spirits that they allow themselves to be used by. And we're gonna get into a lot of different spirits that people not even really aware of what's using them to be done. I want to play this video. It's been shown a few times. If you've seen it or if you've not seen it, this is a really good watch. Just to open your mind up to this world and what people are into and why they're into it and why they can't let it go. I just found this creator. She's on either TikTok, I think, or she on TikTok or on Instagram. But anyway, I'm gonna just play two of her videos real quick. This the one that's been shot. So maybe y'all saw this one, maybe not. Her name is Kayla Lorraine. She's pretty dope. And what she did was she took time out to go buy the Ethiopian Bible, which has books in it that has been taken from the American version. I know you all heard of the Book of Enoch. Some of you have, some of you have not. But in this book is where they talk about the fallen angels. We all know the history of the Bible or somewhat of it, right? So basically what happened from grace, when Satan came down, he had a third of those angels come down with him. He had his own stuff set up, but besides him, it was 200 of them that came down into the depths of the earth when man was created and the woman was created, basically mankind. And these 200 fallen angels are the deities that these people worship, whether it be Greek, Egyptian, or whatever the case may be. Is one of these 200. If you ever seen the what's that, Columbia? Uh, it's basically a production film. They show. I want to say it's two different ones. I want to say it's the one where they have the mountain where all of the fallen angels fell, and then all of those stars come across. 21, something like that. I'm gonna have to do some research. My source is a little bit off. But check this out though.
The Greek God, Egyptian God, all of their own angels, and no one can tell me different. I'm really realizing that everything comes full circle because, like, the more just my mind is blown. So we have been talking about the Book of Enoch on this channel, and we've mainly been focusing on the part about the fallen angels coming down, procreating with women, those mortal women making an offspring of ravenous giants. And when God sent the flood, the fallen angels were punished. The Nephilim alive in the sea, and their disembodied spirits became demons, and the women were cursed. Oh my gosh, wait a second. Before we get into the farther, make sure you guys follow me YouTube because apparently.
Okay, yeah. She is on wait hard in the comments. So y'all can make sure y'all go follow her. Her name Kayla Lorraine. This is my first time. Well, second time seeing some of this video, but as far as her content. This is my first time really like checking her stuff out. So like I was saying, like it's no coincidence. Whatever the spirit is leading you to, you're gonna end up seeing. Can you see this? Damn. All right, you know what? I know what to do. I'm gonna put it in the description. So yeah, her page is in the description. Make sure y'all go leave a comment and follow. Her name is Kayla Lorraine. So this is how you show love, you know. Be just stealing people's stuff. So I could be like, oh, everything I watch this video, right? This is what niggas be doing, and I noticed this, like right now, right? They're like, oh, I can't wait till he get done so I can hurry up and see what he was talking about, then go run around, you know what I'm saying? Keep copying it. Like it'd be funny to me, like I be peeping it, right? Like these niggas funny as hell. They want to be a nigga so bad. Anybody who lost like that, you got plenty of time to go follow behind another nigga, right? You want to be a nigga, which is flattery. The thing about that is like you lose yourself time and time again. The more you trying to be like somebody else, you might as well just hang it up because you don't know what this person is transforming into. Meaning myself. You don't know why I do what I do, my mindset, the way that I feel about things that I do. You're not passionate as I am about the way that I live my life, right? I'm glad I admire you. I mean, you you admire me, but look, right? A lot of stuff I learn, I'll be trying to put the sources out there. Like when you see stuff like this is her channel. I seen this from somebody else who do the same thing that I do. We watched his channel the other day, and the only reason I didn't acknowledge her because I didn't know her, but he left the link for us to play it, and here it is. So yeah, that's how you rotate. That's how you do stuff. Like if she ever to see my video, she out here doing her own thing, you know. And kudos to her for putting out knowledge out there. A lot of people, this video is gonna rub a lot of people the wrong way because a lot of people into this type of stuff. And I'm not here to talk about nobody. You know, do as you please, but just know where I stand with the stuff and know what you're into. If you're not really sure about what you're into, if you're not really aware of what you're doing, who you're doing it with, I mean, this should be an eye opener. People out here, you have fun for a little while, you do good for a while, and then all of a sudden, the light switch. Everything is uprooted. You be like, damn, what's going on? I'm sick. I'm unhappy. I'm getting what I want, but it's not the feeling that I thought I would keep. You know, I thought this would make me happy. Now I have to pursue something else, or I'm trapped in this situation. This is true energy, right? You spend energy chasing after things, desires, or whatever. Not all desires are what's really going to lead you to being free and to being happy. Some of this stuff will lead you to an addiction and it'll lead you to needing some type of intervention, whether it be from the priest or um the drug people, whatever, right? The porn people, the motherfucking genocide people who just out here mass, you know, um, mental health people. White boys, are y'all all right? Y'all been crashing out lately. Brookfield, Wisconsin, like that's crazy. Some boy was found on the golf course, you know, hung up. That's crazy. Y'all still out here on that. The KKK ain't claimed that one. They ain't even claimed the thing that was going on in Haiti with the two white boys. And then another guy I just found out today out in somewhere, I don't know, but at a Little Caesars where I used to work at. Not the one I used to work at, but one of them in the States. A little 21-year-old, or no, the girl was 21 and he was like 27. Just young boys, you know, later in early 20s. But anyway, he killed her, the wife, and the dude that he thought she was dealing with, and everybody in the thing, the coworkers or whatever, and the family was like, man, he ain't even had no girl, and they like this wasn't even what he thought it was. That's mental health, you know, like when you out here mentally effed up like that, it's a sad situation. Not being able to control those thoughts, that's a drifter, right? You don't have any power of the thoughts that you're thinking. You're so um, disoriented, so out of touch with reality, so lost, right? Because you don't have any discernment. And sometimes, like I was saying, when you spend time with yourself, when you spend time in prayer, when you spend time worshiping and stuff like that, whatever spiritual practices you have, it should be able to basically advance what you're doing. And this goes both ways, good and bad, especially when you're doing witchcraft and you're trying to do whatever you're doing, or you're doing Holy Spirit things, you're trying to fast and you're trying to cast out demons and all this stuff, right? It goes both ways. But anyway, nevertheless, right, when you're not guarding your mind, these thoughts that come in like, oh, and then they keep nagging at you until you finally commit that sin, like how he did. Whatever was in his mind telling him that she's unfaithful, he entertained that thought enough until it grew into an action to where he took two people's lives. Now he's going to sit the rest of his life thinking about how can I think about things that I think about? And now I'm very aware of what I'm thinking about because I have no choice, right? These are the things that people take for granted. These are the things that people think is important in life. A man can live a life without a spiritual life. And if a man isn't in tune with his spirit, he's able to be used by any spirit that wants to use this man because he's a drifter. Just like a flame can be a flame without fire. These things go together, right? A match can't be lit without the things that it needs. No man can really live a life without a spiritual life. Whether he's conscious or unconscious, there's no way out of this, no way around it. It's something you have to endure, just like living, right? You have to live and you have to die. There's no way around it. Now, whether you take your own life by doing foolish things or you trying to guard your life, no matter what, right? Consciously or unconsciously is what I was saying, as far as you being a spiritual person or not. You entertaining certain things that these spirits are putting in your mind, guess what? You're working in the spirit. Spirits are using you, whether you want to acknowledge this or not. That's why some people are so into whatever they're into because they think that I have to make certain sacrifices to God because God requires me to live holy, and these other spirits let me do whatever I please. But one of these spirits get me in the gym, I'm gonna call another one, and I'm gonna keep calling different ones. That's why they got so many goddesses and goddesses. That's why like different cults, different religions, different practices. They have multiple gods that they go to, right? Different deities, different energy sources, different spiritual sources. This stuff is very, very real. It's very, very real spiritual warfare. It's very, very real spiritual battle. But before we carry on, I want to read this word for today, and then we're going to get into these things as far as like, the stuff that the Lord forbids us to be partaking in, which seems so harmless, right? Until you really wonder why this stuff is even praised or acknowledged in the first place. And then you realize you exactly why. And you realize like what you're really tapping into and who you're tapping into. But anyway, nevertheless, today is December the 3rd, 2025. Happy birthday to my lovely niece. I have, what's that, a Sagittarius? Yeah, Sag. That's y'all season, right? One Sagittarius. Really, really sweet young lady. Do not be surprised by the fiery attacks of your mind. Wow. When you struggle to find me and you when you struggle to find me and to live in my peace, do not let discouragement set in. You are engaged in massive warfare, spiritually speaking. The evil one abhors your closeness to me, and his demonic underlings are determined to destroy our intimacy. When you find yourself in the thick of battle, call upon my name. Jesus, help me. At that instant, the battle becomes mine. Your role is simply to trust me as I fight for you. My name, properly used, has unlimited power to bless and protect. At the end of time, every knee will bow in heaven, on earth, and under the earth. When my name is proclaimed, people who have used Jesus as a shoddy swear word will fall down in terror on that awesome day. But all those who have drawn near me through trusting utterly my name will be filled with inexpressible and glorious joy. This is your great hope as you await my return. And this was inspired by the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. 1 Samuel, chapter 17, verse 47. Um, Philippians, chapter 2, verse 9 through 10. And last but never the least, 1 Peter, chapter 1, verse 8 through 9. For this is for the readers, the hearers, and the doers of his word. May it be an inspiration for you all and a light in the dark path. December the 3rd. Okay, hold on. Okay, yeah. All right, there you go. I guess it's kind of hard this time. My book is falling apart, as y'all can see. It's barely hanging on there. Oh yeah, it's a really nice word for today. My dad's birthday coming up. Team Angie, my late great sister, she passed away December the 6th. Her angel anniversary is coming up. It's been over 10 years. Um, it's been 13 years since my little sister passed. 16. She'll be 29. She would have made 29 this year. She passed away at 16 years old. I think that was like 13 years ago, 2011. I don't like to think about this type of stuff. I don't really like to speak on it, but yeah, it's coming up.
Oh yeah, always TikTok. This is for as only just fun. Anyway, back to the tea. So we've covered that part. We haven't spoken a lot about is the miscegenation. Now, the term miscegenation means when bad things are done, things that are not human. I have to be very careful what I say. Certain kinds of relations with animals. Yeah. So in the book of Enoch, it actually says that the fallen angels did these things. And honestly, that kind of makes me feel like that's where it originated from. Because y'all know some weirdos in this age still do that kind of thing. Anyway,
Mhm.
so yeah, from this miscegenation came half.
What she talk about is these angels with some freaky mans and girls. I mean, basically the dudes, I guess, all freaky men who want to hump on the girls, the animals, anything they got to open it. Freak body. These ones came down with. They came down with Viagra, or they was already full of that. They poking me and everything. Fishes, horses. That's where all this weird stuff come from. The lion head dog. You know what I'm saying? That's what she talking about. This stuff actually happened. You think people just so creative? Hell nah. People can't even think for themselves. They can't create this type of shit. They saw it and they try to reiterate what they said by the writings, and they try to put it down pictures. But yeah, they seen some weird stuff. And these are the days of Noah. This is where the first high priest Aaron came into place, because God was like, yeah, we finna shut this down. I need y'all to go ahead, lay law and order down, set up a system. Niggas gonna have to follow this system. Aaron, you and your sons, y'all come intercede for these stuff that's going on, these demons, these giants that's putting out different ideologies about them being gods and stuff like that, right? God had to clean up house. And that's what was going on, like in under the sea, little mermaids, little sirens, or whatever you want to call them, right? You're gonna see all this stuff really making sense. Like the veil is open. This information is out for a reason. And for those of you who continue to choose to be blind, I just pray for your soul, and I'm gonna put this prayer out too. If you guys looking to be saved, um, what was that? Romans 9. It might be 8. I'm gonna check it out real quick. Um, it's got to be 8. Hold on. Yeah. I read the book of Romans, but I don't remember it. There is no, therefore, there is no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. For Christ. All right, yeah, this it right here. Damn, that was just it. All right, yeah, we're gonna get back into this in a bit. My bad, my bad. I'm just reading for a little bit. I love to read. I read articles. I read all the time. Um, I'm gonna try to get through this without talking so much as well.
An animal creature. So basically a mix trying to create a whole new species. We've argued on this channel that the Greek gods were actually fallen angels because in that time they brought down so much heavenly knowledge that the humans literally revered them as gods. Demigods that had a human parent, heavenly parent, were really the Nephilim and the other species that came about on the earth. Have y'all ever wondered where things like centaurs came from? Like, hello? Come from somewhere. And Greek mythology is the only place that this comes about. The Egyptian gods as well habit of being half animal and half human. But staying on Greek mythology, let's not forget about sirens, which actually are not mermaids, human half bird, specifically women. So are y'all seeing the pattern here? It's definitely giving that this miscegenation was so rampant in this time, and that would make sense as why God had to flood the earth, because it was just so corrupt. Then that makes you think, okay, flooded the earth, so things drowned, right? Everything drowned on the. What about the things that lived in the sea, like Siren, the mermaid kind? Throughout history, you can see so much proof of the existence of water spirit. For example, Mami Wata, which is a Caribbean and African water deity, has been around for us together, guys. It is so mind-blowing. Like, the deeper you get down the rabbit hole, you just never gonna leave. But I will tell you one thing. While you are digging, while you're learning more about the lore, make sure you don't get distracted and remember that the most important thing is Jesus. Don't
in a single month.
You living for money and money only, and you still can't buy your way into heaven. You can't buy your way out of hell. Imagine that money not meaning a damn thing when your soul is trapped in torment because you choose to focus on the material things of this world. It's going to vanish with us as well. You know, your body. You could put all the tattoos that you like and want. You could fill every little inch of your skin up. You could put all of the nicest jewelry, the nicest clothes. You can reside in the nicest homes, drive the nicest luxurious cars. But when your soul is out of this body and is in its original place, all of these things is going to vanish just like you, right? Don't get caught up in these things thinking these are the things that life is all about. These are what they call it.
don't do too much.
I already said that. Well, only reason I said that was I seen the video. Now you about to watch it. This girl, it was like, "Would you spend 10 minutes with God for $1 billion?" She's like, "I'm taking $1 billion." I was like, "That's sad." Somebody in my color too. They so lost in this culture that's still in their faith. And yeah, it is what it is, right? But don't let these people lose you in this world, thinking that this is what's the main goal. You know, it's nice. It's important to be having your mind not being led by what the world tell you to think about and what the world tell you what's important. I was thinking about money, right? Specifically money. Money has no value. All of it is the same weight, the same size. The only difference is we put different faces and different numbers on it. And then depending on what the face or the number is, that still don't have any value. People love money, but one George Washington isn't the same appreciated as a Ulysses Grant. Ulysses Grant isn't the same appreciated as a Benjamin Franklin, which I just said a one, a 50, and $100 bill. It's just whatever we put value to it, right? And now that we have cryptocurrency, you don't even need paper money anymore. Everything's online, everything's digital, and it's like the value is unlimited. It's what the world is going into, right? So you don't have to think too much anymore. You could just let this technology think for you. And it's technology of how you thinking that you're advancing. And some people do, and some people will, but not a lot of people will, and a lot of people won't. They believe any and everything on this internet, anything Chat GBT, tell them Grok or Gemini or whatever AI tool that. Be mindful of the information you're getting as well, because like my AI, my little consultant like to try to trick me up from time to time, but I think for myself, everything that this thing tell me is in law, and I always check it. And if we're going into an area where it can't, disclose certain information, we speak in code because information is key. Information is value. But more so than having information is being wise and knowing when to use information and how to use information. A lot of people think they know a lot, but they don't. They know of a lot, but they don't know what to do with what they know. Therefore, they're invaluable.
Make sure you like and follow and comment down below if y'all want me to dive into the connection of the Egyptian gods. What if the ancient Egyptians actually died by side with the fallen angels and Nephilim? I know that sounds crazy, but I'm about to explain why.
Just had to shout that out. What's the difference between that glow? She got a little glow on her.
From the beginning, the very first recorded pharaoh's name was Narmer. He ruled during the Egypt, which is said to be about 12,000 years ago. And Egyptian mythology says that this is a time when humans mingled and walked with the gods. Remember that. Even ancient astronaut theorists say that this is a time that, quote unquote, extraterrestrials walked on Earth. And we've spoken about on my channel, after delving into the Bible in the book of Enoch, that these extraterrestrials, these aliens everybody be talking about, yeah, those are demons. But in those times, the extraterrestrials were the fallen angels. They were only seen as that because they had so much heavenly knowledge that no one on Earth ever could have thought of. I'm sure y'all have heard of the Sphinx, Egypt, right? On the Sphinx, you can see Egyptian writing that says Zep Tepi. Now, Zep Tepi means I have been here for the first time. And y'all know that it was the Watchers' first time on Earth because they were originally just supposed to watch over humanity but ended up getting tempted by lust, procreating with mortal women, which in turn made the ravenous and evil species of giants. Y'all are probably like, how do you know that? How could you possibly know the giants roamed the earth at that time? Number one, Enoch, it says that these giants reach up to 450 feet tall. Just picture that. Just so you can really picture that.
I'll say this, I'm like, damn, 450 feet. I don't even know how high that is. I smoke weed to get high, but I don't even think I'll be that high. I'm like 450 feet. I seen the video the other day they were showing off TikTok. Shout out to I Am Hugh Huff. That's my guy. Well, anyway, he be doing these type of videos. I don't know where these people was at again, but I believe this video to be true. They was across a field, a big field, and it was like big old trees or whatever. Now you see it's the top of somebody's head, little nappy head walking back and forth across the trees. He turn around and everything. You see a little bit of his neck and all that. You're like, oh, wait, hold up. Sometimes you see little stuff on the top of the trees. You be like, okay, maybe that's a shadow or a crow or an owl out in the daytime. And this was daytime, mind you. So it was undisputable that it was something really tall, but I don't think he was even 400 feet tall. This guy was pretty huge, really, really huge, but 400 feet, I don't think. I can't even imagine 400 feet, but she about to say like what's comparison to it.
Tall. Just picture that. Just so you can really picture that. The Statue of Liberty is only 3 feet tall, okay? Great Pyramid of Giza is 455 feet tall. Now, how on earth could humans have made something like that in that time period? You tell me. Anyway, back to the Sphinx. Archaeologists studied this statue and found that the outsides are weathered out to have a rounded profile. You know what caused it to have a rounded profile? Extreme amounts of rain beating down on the side of it, which not only proves that there wasn't desert there before, it proved that an excessive amount of water was poured over this. Sounds a little bit like the flood of Noah that started off as extreme rain and also annihilated most of humanity and all of the Nephilim that roamed the earth before. Now, are we not even going to talk about Egyptian hieroglyphs where it literally giants on multiple occasions? Like, hello? Getting back to the pyramids real quick, Great Pyramid of Giza has 2.3 million stones, all of them ranging in about 2 to 80 tons in weight. Not only that, it aligns so that they do not fall apart. The altitude of all the pyramids, not just in Egypt, but around the world, is equal to the speed of light. Now I'm about to blow your mind. Remember when Lucifer fell from heaven? What did the Bible say about that? I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Light. What if the Watchers fell to the earth just as Satan did and were paying homage to that when creating these pyramids? Also, don't forget about the fact that Egyptian pyramids at one point perfectly aligned with the Orion's star system. Who taught humans about astrology? Oh, the fallen angels. Just some food for thought. As always, make sure you like and follow and comment down below what you think about the Anunnaki and why they're actually fallen angels. So widespread belief that these beings are basically the quote gods that created the earth and all inhabitants.
Now y'all see why it's called mini me, right? The whole world basically copying off these giants. You see a lot of mini giants running around with the same ideology. Uh, that's why it's important to think for yourself, even when you go into certain churches. Don't just go follow behind the pastor. Don't go follow behind the evangelist, the priest, whatever y'all call these people. You go behind that church, you see a Freemason sign in the back. For real, for real. Like, I'm not joking. You'd be surprised who these people really worship and who they see as God. You can't blame them, though. I mean, power is power. Whoever you get it from, however you get it, I guess they're appreciative of it. And that's what they rocking with. But you have a choice, all of this information is out there. If you choose, you choose. You have a choice. And if you're not sure about what to choose, you're not sure about which way to go, I advise you to start spending time with yourself, getting to know yourself, getting to know what resonates with you as far as being enlightened, right? It could be being nice to people. It could be meditating. It could be reading books in a serene, holy place. The holy place could be somewhere around fire, the woods, grass, water, right? You got to know yourself. You got to know what brings you peace. You got to know what resonates with you. And if not, then you're going to be tempted to run that route to these deities that's promising you different things, is feeding your mind with the ideology because you're a drifter and you're just going to get whatever comes to mind because you don't block it, you don't question it, you don't figure out what's what, you don't use your mind, you don't think for yourself. And that's basically what it is. Everybody has their own mind. That's why we have free will. People choose to use their mind to think for themselves and some people don't. That's why they have energy manipulation tactics as far as alchemy, right? And why do people use alchemy? Because they know a lot of people ain't gonna think for themselves, and you can use them to basically bust moves for you. You can manipulate their energy, have them. Energy is everything. If you didn't know, why I speak on this so much. But anyway, let's carry on.
Through the gods that have the body and face. And during the time that they were here, they apparently taught human race all that there is to know, including higher intelligence, war, spirituality, things of that nature. I'm here to tell y'all that they are literally just the fallen angels. We have to get the idea that
this make a lot of sense, right? These the giants. He in here playing with like a little crafts and art from Michaels or Hobby Lobby, the Toys R Us. You feel me? Look at this. This is a big dude. It'd be so easy for him to make this. Pick up a fucking. He could pick this whole thing up with his hand if he wants to. Tons of bricks. One that'll crush us easily. That's why they was scared of these people. Like, I ain't gonna fuck with dude. But look at that. He is massive. Like, come on. I never seen an image like this. I never could even imagine an image like this. I'm not even trying to be running into these type of people. You can't pow them. You hit them with a tank. You hit them with a cannon. You just gonna piss them off. Now, I see why people was running underground now. Why they got so many tunnels and shit. Why they be hiding underground. They want these people to come back. They don't want to see these people. That's why they study all underground, doing all this underground stuff. But no matter what, when you're not a child of God, this type of stuff will scare you. This type of stuff will have you hidden the deck. And then when you think about it, like, this ain't the only big thing. I know you heard of Godzilla, aka the L thing. This for entertainment purposes as well. Leviathan, for entertainment purposes, allegedly. Godzilla is running around under the water. It was two of them, a boy and a girl. And God was like, man, y'all already messed up everything. Now, if these mate, y'all done for. So let me kill the female off because that's the only way I can help y'all. Y'all keep doing other things, right? And King Kong, I'm not sure about his story. We ain't finna get into it. I ain't finna talk about what I don't know about or what I have.
Just hair dyed, lily white, Bambi creature. They start to understand the fact that these are divine beings made by the hand of God. So, of course, with them coming down to earth and seducing women and teaching the men and women all of this heavenly knowledge, of course they're going to be seen as gods, especially when they doubt the one that's actually created everything. From the fallen angels came the Nephilim, and to the regular mortal people, this was also crazy that they had to be in awe of them.
So these are the fallen angels who roam the earth, who are bigger than the Nephilims. The Nephilims was probably about as big as this. And that's still very, very huge. Like what we be seeing now are probably Nephilims, but these are fallen angels, the demons that was on this earth, that was in this physical form. So let's not confuse that with that. Nephilim, huge giants, yes, but fallen angels, the ones that were here, way bigger than these Nephilims, is what I'm starting to understand. So yeah, like it's something to think about. If you ever seen a fallen angel, which I could imagine, like you probably would think they God. You don't want to fuck with that type of person. And look how easy it is for them to deceive them. Like they came in like a massive way. They didn't come like how the devil come. He'll come in a way that you like, in a way that's suiting for you. No, they came and they glory, and they was like, yeah, I wish I would. Of course, they was a little bit nice. They built them pretty little thing, little energy sources. A part they was using it for them. I don't know. The stuff gets deep when you really, really think about it. Like they had their own agenda. They was out here doing their thing. And these people wasn't. They had a mission. They woke up with purpose each day. They never actually even sleep. They was just on business, day in, day out, still on business.
Let's take Zeus for example. Have you ever asked yourselves why the gods are so obsessed with coming down from Mount Olympus and seducing most of them
It's the Mountain Olympus.
women and making half god, half human babies? It's literally all derived from angels and the Nephilim. Now, I want to address something in this video. I've seen a lot of people say that there is no evidence in the Bible the giants existed and that it's only in the book of Enoch, and that's why we shouldn't take the book of Enoch as biblical. While I agree that the book of Enoch is not 100% scripture, or at least I can't prove it is at this point, because I haven't read the full thing and I'm not going to claim that, I do want to point out that there are more.
Now I'm gonna stop her right there because she's trying to be nice. These books from the Bible. Go ask the Pope. He gonna look at you crazy. He gonna be like, "What? Why you think Vladimir Putin is starting to release artifacts, different articles, different things about history, world history? The truth is being exposed. Can't hide the truth. The truth has a funny way of revealing itself. The book of Enoch is not by coincidence that everybody's starting to find out about it. It's been around. It's available on Amazon for like $50 if you want the original text and pictures and stuff like that. I'm gonna get a book. Actually, it's probably gonna be my goal this next year to get that book, the Ethiopian Bible. Just like Catholic Bibles, right? They have different books in there. Just like modern day saints, right? They have way different books, but it's their Bible. It says New Testament. So who to say that this isn't a book of the Bible, right? Why would the main Bible that the Americans have reference these people? Why would it even be in there if it's just some folk tale or something like that, right? So don't get it confused. This is another trick of the enemy to get you to doubt knowledge, to not be able to see things for yourself. This is why a lot of people walk around so blind in the world, because lack of knowledge. People perish for the lack of knowledge, and that's in the Bible. But hey, and we're gonna look up some verses in a bit, and I'm gonna run all this back. People always go, "Oh, it's in the Bible. What verse?" Okay, I'm gonna show you what verse. I think I spelled that wrong. It's Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I also reject them, that thou shalt be no priest to me. I can't read. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because they have rejected knowledge. I also will reject them, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children. So God, like, I mean, it's plain as day. This is in modern day words. Forget me, forget you, basically. You want to act like my word ain't out here telling you guys what's going on. You want to be lost, stay lost. But don't preach in my name, because it's gonna be rejected. Your bloodline's gonna be rejected. But that's what he's saying. Like F you and yours, all of y'all. If y'all don't like me, like how Dr. J said, I find humor in Christ. I find humor in the Lord. You know, not everything is so serious. I'm a serious guy about my life and everything that I stand for. But I do joke around. I do have a sense of humor. And I find this quite funny how God has put his personality throughout these verses. Even when Jesus was like, y'all turning my house into a den of thieves, and he flipped the table over. We not having this up in here. He laying the law down. And why did he do that? Where was he at doing that? This was the place that his father set up when he was talking face to face with Moses. The gods did come down. The gods were here. The true God, who was putting things in order and still creating at the same time, as he realized his creation was not so pleasing in his sight. He wasn't quick to destroy everybody. He giving them all a chance. He like, Moses, help my people. Once he helped his people, he like, man, they just still can't get right. Who amongst my people, amongst my creation, who still follow my word, who still seeks my knowledge and my wisdom, my guidance? There was one family out of the whole world, which was Noah. Um, I messed up, right? So I'm not sure what she said about if the Nephilims was in the day. Oh yeah. So okay, it did happen like this. I had to backtrack for a bit. God was there dealing with Moses face to face. These deities was already out in the ground, I assume. The fallen angels. I believe all this stuff may have been going on from the time of Aaron and Moses when they set up the first high priest, and then all of this stuff was going on. And God was getting very, very tired of it. He allowed it for so long, and then he like it just got out of hand. Once he realized, like, okay, I still got one family that I could redo this whole thing over with, which was Noah. And this was all of the stuff going on around that time. They know the laws of the land at this point, around this time, because the high priest Aaron has been interceding for them. That's the only reason they still have mercy and grace, and God didn't destroy everybody. And why some people still was able to listen to God's voice despite all of the wickedness and corruption going on around the world. Just like now, right? We're enticed to steal, to all of this nonsense going on the news, the stuff that I was just posting about and just talking about. This are the stuff. These are the things that are going. These are the things that's going on in the world now and even back then. It's nothing new under the sun. This might be done in a different fashion, a different area of the world, a different person, but everything is being repeated. People are being used to corrupt and destroy the world, while others are being used to do the total opposite, to enlighten people, to make this place a better place, and vice versa, right? It gets deep. It gets real, real deep. These fallen angels came and they was very, very crafty, very, very intelligent, and they know how to use people. They know how to get you to do as they please. They know how to get you to corrupt the minds of man. Mhm. So she's absolutely right about that. And the way to know if you're a part of this bloodline, they ain't gonna talk about it much, but the doctor, basically doctor statements and stuff like that, or I don't even know what to call this stuff. Your doctor history or whatever. And these people are born with red hair and six fingers or sometimes six toes. They'll have like a little nudge right there. Have you ever seen anybody with one of these, an extra little finger? They're part of that bloodline. Some of them even have tails. They do. They ain't gonna tell you about this in the hospital records. Like how many people this year was born with that extra finger with the red hair? These usually are people who are part of that Nephilim bloodline, and they're always doing census. They're always taking blood. They trying to figure out who that bloodline is and keep that going and keep it set apart, right? I want to go into this other video that she got going on because it's in our faces and people choose to dismiss all of this stuff. That's why they lack, because the lack of knowledge. They hear this stuff, they don't want to look into it, they don't believe it, they don't care, and then they be end up participating type of energy. Mhm. Okay, she on Instagram. And then yeah, like people make it make sense, right? 7 feet here in America. They didn't come out that big, but they grew fast or they grew slow, but eventually they got that height. And maybe for the Nephilim around their adolescence, they was probably 7 feet tall. As a teenager, they probably was already up past the door. Who knows, right? But it kind of makes sense. Hmm. Hmm. And if you guys don't know, roughly a ton is like 1,000 pounds. It's about roughly up to 1,000 pounds, 1 ton. Even if that ass 500 pound person can't, or if a super strong steroid person can't lift 1,000 pounds, the most they could do is the 500 club. I know y'all heard the 500 club, and them guys be as strong as you could think. Be, you know what I'm saying? Like you can knock them out. But they ain't finna pick up no pyramid brick. They can't do that one. It take a whole bunch of them, and they're gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna move it far because it takes all of their strength just to do 500 one time. They're not pumping 500 like that. I picked it up, I put it down. So people could, they can't. You like to think so. Even back then, like people were strong, they were tall, ran fast, or whatever, but still wasn't lifting 500 with ease like that. Even if you had all of the slaves, all of them wasn't doing it. It wasn't happening. And turning, talking about that's called alchemy. That's what people do. That's what people been studying for the longest of time. Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, different people, right? That's how he ended up figuring out how to do what he did with electricity because he was dabbling into energy, alchemy. That sound is creepy to nothing. Talking about you putting down to sleep. What the hell? How do you? I'm concerned about what's going on in that household. She sound like that getting ready to go to sleep. You need to go look in that bedroom and make sure ain't no nothing up in there while she don't want to go to sleep. Because if I'm just an observer, right, and what I think is going on, that little girl from what she's studying, something came over there with them. Be mindful of what you got coming to your house as well. Like you could be receiving demonic gifts, chains, necklaces, shirts, whatever to be attached to your body. And depending on what type of spiritual practices you have, what type of protection, you might not be affected, but it's now in your home and it affects those who aren't protected. Like that little girl, the way that she screamed, it didn't sound like she wasn't not trying to go to bed. It sounded like she don't want to go to sleep in that room because something she's been experiencing. And this is just my take. I'm very, very uh, intuitive. I'm very, very receptive. I have discernment, and let me run that back real quick because I can't run. I just can't get this out. What I just heard, I can't get this out of my mind. Y'all heard that, right? As soon as she was talking about that Arabic word she said, and she said what it meant, that's when that girl immediately got the. I mean, that's when the girl got the immediately screaming out. Why did I just say this? Because certain Arabic words are used for spells and rituals, and if you don't really know what that stuff means, like they could tell her it means whatever, right? I don't know what it means, honestly. So I'm not even finna play that game. I'm not even finna be trying to act like I know, because maybe what she just said just provoked something to come inside that crib or to basically, just like you call on the name of Jesus, I've called on Jesus and he come right away because I've had sleep paralysis, demons in here trying to take my body or my soul or whatever, right? Some shit that I don't want to be experiencing. So I'm calling on Jesus and he pop up just like that. That's the power of words. That's the power of the tongue, the power of certain things, right? Now, what she just said in Arabic, I don't know what that means, but in my mind, I'm thinking she just called something in that crib and something been in that crib and she just activated it just like that. Just like hypnotism, right? Certain sounds, certain words that trance, you put you in the trance. I believe that's what she just did. She's like, oh, forgive me. My husband's trying to put my daughter to bed. You need a man to lay this girl down because she tried it, obviously, right? She's not going, but she's not thinking spiritual. Kayla Lorraine, I believe her name is. If you see this video, I advise you honestly to do some prayers over your house, over that book that you got, or wherever you're getting this information from, because that's not normal. I've seen a lot of kids act out because they don't want to go to sleep, but not screaming like that. Especially, I don't know, man. I could be reaching. Let me know if I'm reaching or not. I don't think so though, but I seen something else. Kids, right? Kids, they're open to the spiritual realm, whether they want to be or not, is because they're so close to their innocence. Some of us don't have a clue what's going on because we've lost our innocence. We don't seek knowledge. We're not spiritually in tune. We don't pray. We don't have a relationship with God. We're full of demonic energy and entities anyway. We can't even break free. We can't even see anything past of our struggles and trials or whatever, right? That's how the devil will keep you too in these demons and these pacts, these agreements. People want a better life so bad they'll do anything for it, say anything for it, agree to anything for it. There is power in struggle. There's a lot of wisdom in struggle. It's a lot of both of those in failure as well. Be mindful, dog. Like when you seeking information, you seeking knowledge, pray. Ask for discernment. Ask for the Holy Spirit to be revealed so that you can know if this is something that's entertaining you or something that's filling your spirit. Because there is a difference between entertainment and actual spiritual enlightenment. Not everything spiritual is to enlighten you, right? To make you better equipped to deal with the spiritual realm and our things. She may be spiritually knowledgeable, but not spiritually equipped to fight in the spiritual realm. And this stuff is very serious. I want to see what's going on, what she's gonna say about this, and then I'm gonna end this really short. But it's just something I noticed, and I just didn't want to go past that because that kind of alarmed me. Like that kind of had me a little bit worried. But back to the kids, right? I was just seeing something what I was talking about when they have imaginary friends. Pray for these kids, talk to these kids because it's something in that house, or it's something that's attached to them, or it's something that somebody put on them. The teachers at school, you got to pray for these teachers because some of them so lost. They're predators, preying on these kids sexually, preying on them spiritually, preying on them mentally, right? You got to really, really be praying for these kids because they're enduring so much nowadays. Now that everything is out, you got people like Young Boy, NBA, who led a whole generation astray of YNs. That's where they came from. But people starting to wake up. They're like, we're not going to be with that ghetto culture anymore. And for your for those of you who think like, oh, he just successful, he got talent, that's true. But don't ever forget who runs this world and who puts you in position. A lot of people don't even know that your favorite artist that's getting played as much, they got stuff in the back end going on. Like the reason why they're being played, my label might have paid the radio stations 30,000 to play my song 3 times a day for 3 weeks. While the artist, I got him promoting, he finna go on tour the next month. So within these 3 weeks, you guys like, oh, I'll save the money all month. The fourth week, I got enough money now. And the next month, I'm finna go on tour with dude and get more hypnotized by this music and these messages and these symbols that they're putting in these videos, right? I grew up loving rap. First, it was hip hop. I loved hip hop. It was conscious music until it started getting to the rap and the drill and all this demonic stuff, right? Videos was sweet. They was about men and women finding each other, working together, being in union, taking care of families, going to school, different things like that, right? Like College Hill, Love Don't Cost a Thing. They were in school, they were getting educated, they were pursuing happiness. These were things that were something what to obtain, right? These were morals, they had morals, these were things to value in life. Um, and then all of a sudden it got to where you seeing bull horns and Kodak Black video. You seeing all of this weird, wild stuff. You're like, okay, a lot of black cats and all of this demonic stuff, right? And you starting to think like, oh, it ain't nothing until all of a sudden you're doing weird and wild stuff because subliminally, subconsciously, your mind is picking up on messages that are telling you to do certain things to go a certain way. Now all of a sudden you having experiences in life that aren't too pleasant from being entertained by these demons. Hold on, let me go there. She said she not. The way that she screamed, though, that's not a person who's being forced to go to sleep. And for him to put him down to tell that she's had this problem before, I just see things like I read between the lines. That's my special power. She don't want to seem weird or nothing like that, but don't suffer in silence. Don't allow this child to be experiencing things in the spiritual realm that she's afraid of because you're seeking knowledge and you want to know about these things, and these things are there with you because you can't see. This type of stuff happens as well. So just to be mindful. This is all a mindfulness awareness video. Said mindfulness. We're gonna get through this really quick. I'm gonna skip forward a little bit. And where did I get this information from? It's information is out there. People lack for the lack of knowledge. They don't want to learn shit. They don't want to know shit. If it ain't given to them, if it ain't put in their mind, if they're not doing it with somebody, they ain't gonna go for it. It is what it is. To each his own. But there's gonna come a time where you have to be accountable. Like, why haven't you been taking heed with these messages I'm showing you every day? You didn't care to listen. You didn't care to learn. Now life is over with. It's time to be accountable for the lifestyle you live. People be out here like just coasting through life. No definite purpose on why they do what they do. Nothing, right? No accountability at all. Really, I seek knowledge. That's why I know a little bit about this stuff, and this information is out there. It's free. I like to stroll on the internet and look at things that's inspiring to me, things that I can learn from. People like, what you doing? I'm learning, motherfucker. I'm being me, shit. Fuck. You hear what I'm saying? You see what I'm talking about? Like, what the fuck you think I'm doing? That goes to show that people don't listen. They don't want to learn anything. I didn't hear nothing that I want to hear. I'm gone. All along, they missing the jewels in life. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm speaking truth to everybody. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, this finna save your life right now. Yes, that is true. But at the same time, like, I'm not forcing anything on anybody. I'm just putting this information out there. I pray that everybody will come to their senses and leave all this witchcraft stuff alone and, you know, just sacrifice their time to being real and to who they are and not manipulating the ways of the universe, calling on these things. Now, I'm not saying that everything is witchcraft, everything is demonic. No, that's not the case at all. And that's not true. Certain practices are needed. Faith without works is dead. Sometimes you need to be tapped in with certain spiritual things, like a priest, right? You bless holy oil. It's like certain things that you have to do, and that's sacred. But the only way that you know these type of things is if you tap it in, right? Certain crystals, certain stones, certain objects, certain stuff you need to protect yourself. Some stuff work. I mean, it is what it is, right? Just like I'm gonna tell you, your phone ain't gonna work. I mean, your phone will work just by believing in God. You don't have to put no battery to it. You don't have to charge it. Just believe in God that this thing is gonna be working. And I don't never have to go buy no charger or nothing like that because I believe God and I'm gonna pray that this gonna never ever die on me. Now, how foolish of me, right, to be like that? Like, of course, prayer work. Of course, it'll last long. But I still have to charge this thing up. I have to plug into the sources of this world. What are sources of this world? People use the moon. People use candles. People use all type of things, right? These things aren't evil. These things are demonic. These things aren't witchcraft. The way that you use these things and the energy that you put into it, That's what makes it that way. The spirits that you calling on, that's what makes it that way. Of course, you know certain things are of the negative spirit, Ouija boards, different stuff like that, right? You F around and find out what that stuff is and what it do and who it brings. Curiosity kills the cat. People love to go play around, see what they say. I can't even think. I want to say be heat, seek heed, something like that, right? But be diligent, be cautious of being curious about these type of spiritual things when you have no knowledge of it. I was taught as a young boy, don't play around with. My dad taught me about different spiritual stuff not to be playing with, and curious always. But I hear the testimonies of other people who've had that experience, and not one of those experiences from anybody that I've heard from all of their testimonies have been a good one. Everybody has regretted doing that, and some of them they don't care because that's what they feed off of. But yeah, you have to be mindful of what's going on and who you kick it with and who you entertain, who you follow up behind. Because a lot of these people are unhappy. A lot of these people trying to get that energy off of them and pass it on. Misery loves company, and misery comes in all shapes, form, and fashion. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Now she haven't heard on that, but this is Lucifer speaking at this point. He had his he set up basically like what I was telling y'all. He set up a system too. Like he set up a hierarchy. He got generals and whatever, right? Just like God got a hierarchy. The devil is just the opposite of the light. That doesn't mean he doesn't have the light in him. And when he created his realm, and when he seen, so let me tell you the backstory about that, right? The Trinity is the Father, the Mother, and the Son. A lot of people like to take the Mother route and say it's the Holy Spirit or whatever, right? But the Holy Spirit is basically wisdom. Wisdom is in the person. Wisdom is a person. Her name is Sophia. Or like Sophie, that bank account. Their names translate to different things in Greek and in Hebrew or whatever. But anyway, men and women was one. We were never separated. So that's one thing that you got to be open minded to. Why some people have gender problems now to this day, they're confused if they're a boy or a girl, or they want to be both, or they want to be different, right? Because it's in our spirit to be man and woman. We were both one at one time. That's when we separated mankind into man and woman. And that didn't happen until Adonis and Sophie. There were the two who were the one, which was wisdom and Adam, right? Which was Adonis, the first man. So what happened was the way that they separated from being one was wisdom created on her own. So what it was like, right? When we being both, we create with each other. We don't create on our own. We create in unity. We create balance. We create in harmony. That's what the union was about, the yin and the yang. That's how it became white and black. One creation created outside of itself. When she realized, like, hey, I can create without him, she created something that wasn't like them. It wasn't in harmony of what they all and everybody has been creating. Therefore, she created something that was dark. Everything they created was light. When she didn't create with her co-partner, she created something opposite of what they always have been creating, which was the darkness. That darkness was put into another realm because it was an embarrassment of their creations, which that creation was an entity, which is Belial or Lucifer or whatever you want to call him, right? He was down there like a infant, basically like a guy in the baby mind, thinking he's the only one on the earth or the universe or whatever, right? He started creating just like God did when he was the mind of the universe. It was creating, and what he did was he created a hierarchy first and foremost. And with that being said, he created 12 zodiacs. He created all of this stuff. And when Sophia realized that she was sad and she wanted her child, and he's doing this and this, whatever, right? She sat there mourning, and Adonis came. And when he came trying to rectify the situation, he didn't come by himself. He came with everybody. He was trying to rectify the situation. And this is a book that you can read of in the apocrypha. I think it's called apocrypha. I don't even know how to pronounce the word, but in Egyptian, I'm not the Egyptian, but the Ethiopian Bible, it's the book of Adam. This is what I'm referencing to, is what I'm talking about. That's where I get this information from. But anyway, once the devil synced that, he was like, whoa, his whole little domain was like, dude, I thought you said, you was the only God or whatever, because he was like, I'm a jealous God. There should be no gods other than me. And then when they seen this God come, the real God, it was like, whoa. They tried to trap his spirit and, you know, basically make him a slave. So that's when what she's talking about now, as far as he was saying, okay, let's recreate man in our image, which was him and his compadres. And they kept trying, and man wasn't created successfully until knowledge came, which is Sophia. She whispered in her child's ear, and she was like, breathe breath into his nose. And once he did that, that was her knowledge, her way of getting him to trick himself to basically, capture that spirit back, and so that spirit can go back to God, to which way it belongs. Because his plan was to capture this spirit and slave them. But the spirit that he kept on making, it wasn't living. It was just sit there, it wouldn't move, it wouldn't do anything until he brought his breath of life into the nostrils. And his being became man, became the first man, which is Adam. And Eve, he split the spirit of them into two, which was a boy and a girl. And this one was happening when man and woman was made. And they realized this creation was so much like the true God. They was like, if this creation is better than us, and they realize what they are, they're going to eventually, be free and do as they please and be in their place, their rightful position. So that's what this is all about, right? That's why people be like, they do satanic worship, because, I mean, in a way, they're right. But you have a choice, right? Just like the Egyptians did back in the day, they knew this stuff. They knew that there were spiritualities, spiritual warfare, spiritual powers that they could tap into. This stuff was going on. Like she said, back in the day, they had the fallen angels walking on the earth, and they was convincing people that they were the gods. That's what people get this ideology from. That's what people get this sacred knowledge from. We wasn't supposed to know any of these things, but since we were here, down here, this is what's been going on. God created all of us and everything, and he realized, like, my creation is just going crazy, right? It's going dumb. So that's the real backstory that you might not ever hear about. But anyway, let's carry on, and we're going to be ending this very, very soon. That was dope. That was really, really dope. If you guys want to hear more about her stories, her expertise, want to dab into the mind of her, pick her brain. She got I haven't seen a lot of her videos. I haven't really checked her page. But the link is in the page. Go run her up, go support her. And yeah, if you guys want to know more about this topic, we could dive deeper into it, and I'll let you guys know exactly about the Book of Adam, so you could hear for yourself on where some of this ideology come from and the way that people think now to this day and why they think this way. Why satanic worship is so rampant in this world is because of that. Because everybody has their own view of who is the real leader of this world and who has the most power and who's going to distribute it enough to where you can use it to your advantage, right? But nevertheless, happy Wednesday. Peace and blessings from Team Angie.